Hello, everyone. It's good to be here again. My name is Moses Amos, and it's good to be back again. I was once in, I think, a previous um, meeting just like this, where I spoke about human capitalization. So, my main concept here again is just still talking about human capitalization, but on a broader spectrum, in open government and technology-wise. So I'll just try to tie together in this meeting what we mean by open government, and how we can implement technology through human capitalization in our societies today. So let me just start by giving a brief concept of human capitalization. Like I did in the last meeting we had, I think I spoke extensively about human capitalization, but just like a quick recap. So basically, human capitalization consists of knowledge, skills, and health that people invest in and accumulate throughout their lives. So basically, it just means that when you invest in yourself, that's just what we call human capitalization. But in our society today, we try to see how we can take advantage of human capitalization on a broader scale, like on a mass level, if I should say. So yeah, so with economy building in focus, we will talk about how we can achieve a digitally enhanced leadership through trusted technology and human capitalization. So like I said, my main aim today is just to see how we can tie together uh, good governance and technology. And good government and technology, they go hand in hand, good government and technology. So, okay, let's start. All right. So, yeah. So, starting with leadership, we know that the main problem that economies face is lack of good leadership, right? And sometimes the wrong people are the ones leading, in the sense that they are not even competent to be where they are or to be part of what they're doing, but because they found their way into power one way or the other, through shady means, and then they found a position somewhere, and all they do is just, embezzle funds, and they have nothing to show for it, really. So this mainly is the problem that economies face. When we have like the third world countries, for example, when we have our economies, they seem to be the poorest in the world. But if you look at it at the same time, the leadership also seems to be the poorest in the world. So it's basically the same incompetent leaders that leave, and then the next set of incompetent leaders find their way again into the system. And this mainly is because we lack an open governance. So this brings us to the issue of open governance. When it comes to open governance, we talk about a society whereby people have a say. We talk about a society whereby it's not just about the government. The decisions are not just are not just made by the government. Policies are not just made by the government. The people are all inclusive as well. So this is what we mean by open government. So as we go along, I'll try to see how we can tie together what we can achieve with open government, from the standpoint of technology, digital technology. What can we achieve with an open government society? So we said, taking the concluded presidential election into consideration, for example, what happened, it was just all over the place. There was so much corruption going on, and we truly don't know what the result or what the outcome of that election is, because of the lack of transparency of corruption, of course, as we know. But if we can have a system whereby people are also involved in the system, we can hold these leaders accountable. We have people to hold accountable. But if the people don't have a say, if they don't have any way they can tackle issues, there's really no way for their voices to be heard. And that's what has been keeping many countries, on the same spots throughout the years. So let's just start by defining an open government. What is open governance? We said open government is a culture of governance based on innovative and sustainable public policies and practices inspired by the principles of transparency, accountability, participation that fosters democracy and inclusive growth. So we can see here that the most important part of this is the participation, because inclusive growth goes hand in hand with participation. We cannot have an inclusive growth if we do not have participation. I would say the three hallmarks of an open government are transparency, accountability, just as we said. And now we say, since we know that we have the issues of transparency, we have the issues of accountability. So how then do we tackle this? We tackle this by participating. This is why I mentioned again that participation is one of the major aspects of this whole concept of an open government. So as I run through the next, now, when it comes to participation, we have various areas where we as human beings can contribute to the society, right? But at the same time, it's not just about we having any area to contribute, but also we have to be well equipped. If we are not well equipped for the area that we seek to contribute one way or the other, we see that there really won't be any progress. And what I mean by being equipped is that we might have people that are willing to, that have the skill or that have the will to contribute one way or the other, but they don't just have enough skill to, they don't just have the capacity to function in that aspect. So this is the reason why I have decided to see how I tie in um, open government with human capitalization. Now, the main aim that we are trying to achieve is technology, how we can make technology drive the society, either in digital technology or is it maybe in hardware applications. But today we mostly focus on digital technology. And the reason why I would like to focus mostly on digital technology today is because when we try to attack issues, we need to know where the problems come from. And in our own case, we know that the problem actually comes from corruption, transparency, and stuffs like that. So most of the solutions that we try to give to this kind of issues will mostly be digital based, statistics, analysis, data, and all these kind of things. So now, I just want to quickly talk about how we can enhance participation through human capitalization to promote technology. So we start with the government, and then, like we said, that we are all inclusive. So if we are all inclusive, this means that we should have a government that consults the citizens. And this takes us to where we consult the citizens. Consulting the citizens means that the government needs to reason with these people and let us know what areas do you think we are lacking, we as a government are lacking. If we know the area that we as a government are lacking, now how can you be of help? What can you contribute to this? And not only what can you contribute, if you do not have the capacity, how can we be of help? How can we help you, to work on yourself, and then you can then later, from whatever skill that you have gained over the years, over the period of your training, how can you now give this to us as a service? So we said, where we organize partnerships with industries to train citizens on a mass scale. So again, when we have a government that talks to the people, knows what they have in mind, and rub minds together, and you know that okay, you have to make a way to for some training and stuff like that, then you can go on to relate with industries, come together in partnership, and see how you can actually um, um, put this together on a large scale, how you can actually put this together on a large scale. After the government has been able to come together with various industries, you've done some training, you've equipped people one way or the other in every aspect that they may need, whether it is in hardware application, manufacturing, whether it is in software developments that they need to sharpen their skill sets. We have ways that we can actually come together and provide people with the education that they need so that they can actually eventually give this back to the government as a service. So when we are through with training, then we can assign to various sectors, just as I said. So now we said through open policy system, citizens craft the system based on whatever skill they've acquired and in their respective field. So it's like a give and take really. If the government is open to having the public give their own opinion, having the public give their own contribution one way or the other, then an open policy system is vital, really, because we must have a policy system that is all inclusive, includes everybody from all walks of society, and let them come together after their training and say, this is the skill, this is what they have to give. And then you can now see how you accommodate these people to make the changes, because it's one thing for people to be equipped, to be trained, and it's another thing for the government to actually say that yes, we are going to accept what you have to offer and we're going to actually put it into use so that we can see the difference and actually make a change. So with the backing of the government, citizens can offer services, like I said, in digital technology, and create projects to promote transparency, accountability, and develop technologies. So, like we said, this will be in all sectors. This will be in finance, education, banking, and so on, healthcare. They can provide services in the form of digital technology in all these aspects. So, of course, we know that they may need funding one or the other even after they've gotten the skill and they're ready to take on projects. They may need assistance with funding and all these things. And this is where the government needs to come in to make sure that they actually back these people, and not only back them, help them see that these projects actually come into fruition. So now we say that after we have a government that has actually accepted uh, the new do I say the new reality? And I say the new reality in the sense that if we have a government that is now open to the fact that we can have people contribute one way or the other in the means of technology, now we can say that the end result is an open government that has been crafted to adapt to public projects and ideas to influence the government's body, promote accountability and growth. So at the end of the day, when these people have gone through these phases of training and so on, the advantage is that they will eventually give all this back to the society with the will of the government. Of course, the government has to be open to take these contributions in every area, maybe in digital aspect, for example, automation of transportation system, let's say, for example, or automation of state projects and so on, like that. All for the sake of transparency, for them to be able to get data and supply data to these people so that these people can put on the platform, and people and the society and the citizens can know, okay, these are the projects that are going on and this is what the government is trying to do, this is what they're trying to achieve, and things like that. So that's just mainly the basic concept of human capitalization, taking them through training and then the government accepting these people back into the system and allowing them to function and actually make a change through digital technology. So we said, but yeah, participation itself covers all areas, healthcare, and so on. And we said that to explain participation in detail, citizen participation is the mechanism by which citizens participate in and have influence on the design and implementation of the public policy and service, and the ultimate goal of making governments more open and responsive, just as we discussed earlier. So back to the training aspect, where we say that we have people who are willing, who have the skill to contribute one way or the other into the system. But now the thing is that we may not have enough hands. For example, we have a country of over 2 million people, 200 million people, sorry, and we have just people who are serviceable just around like 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000. We can see that. Yes, we will make a change, but not on the scale that we need so that we can actually see a rapid difference. So this is the reason why it's important that the government actually needs to bring in as many people as possible and put them into the industry, let them go through the training that they need, fund them for them to be able to, bring their startups and things like that. So we know that there is an input for every output. This means that in our journey to an open government society, we need to invest in the citizens again that will participate in various sectors once again. And this can be a tool to promote service in digital technology. So as we go down very soon, I will just talk about a few projects that we've seen the implementation of digital technology. And we just talk about, okay, we said the accumulation of human capital improves labor productivity and facilitates technological innovations. So for us to have an economy where healthcare, education, and heritage and all other sectors are technologically driven, we need to first invest in the minds to fulfill such purpose. Technology and innovation capitalization created through extensive collaboration among the academia as the advanced knowledge and research suppliers, government as the policymakers, the industry as innovative products purchaser, and skilled people employer. So what we are trying to see here is that if we have a government that is willing to come with academia, and also we have this academia can be a research supplier. In other means, they can be a source of training to these people, and then we have the government as the policymaker. So we know that this will still be under the leadership of the government in some sense. The government will still be the one to put in place, come together in partnership with the industry, those who will train, and then those who have, like, for example, those who are already in those sectors, functioning in those sectors. And now we can have these trainees also be under them, and from there start to begin their implementation and things like that. So this is what we are just trying to see here in government collaboration with academia and so on. So let's quickly talk about, okay, so we said the end result of investment is the reward. We can see that human capitalization, we can use human capitalization as a tool to sharpen young minds again in the area of technology to expand technological innovations. So, this ties with the issues of public policy. So you know that last, as we said, that public policy is the main source when it comes to an all-inclusive society. And if we eventually see these people go through training, and even they've been funded to start certain projects, if we do not have the right policies for these people to express their contributions, it's almost going to be a waste of time, because we need people that will have a say, bring in technologies, implement, and then test run this technology, test run these innovations, and then we can now start to see how far this takes us as a society. So let me just talk quickly about just a few examples. Let me say a few examples using India as a case study. We say we have various innovative initiatives under Digital India initiatives. So we have, like we said, we have the government, we have the health sector, we have the government sector, and then we have a project called MyGov. MyGov is aims in the government, sector. So we said it aims to establish a link between governments and citizens towards meeting the goal of good governance. We said it encourages citizens as well as people abroad to participate in various activities. So just we take this just concluded presidential election, for example. Nigerians in the diaspora, they've not really had any way to express themselves. So they've not really had any way to say what they feel about the results of this election. And as we know, that many people are against the results, but we don't have any platform. Like, even if it's a blog, that we can have some government officials come together with people, and then we talk about, how to actually go forward with their concerns as citizens in diaspora. We have the health as well, e-health online registration framework. So it's an initiative that facilitates patients to take online OPD appointments. So if you need to do a scan in the laboratory, you can just go online, get your tickets, and then you will be advised on the day you can visit the laboratory, instead of just going there and waiting. So we also have, for example, in the educational sector, we said we have the NSP, the National Scholarship Portal, which provides a centralized platform for application and disbursement of scholarship to students in the area of education. And then we have government again. We have DAPAN, which says it's an online tool that is used to monitor and analyze projects for critical and high priority projects of the state. So if you take projects, Lagos State, for example, we have a blue line rail and we have a red line rail, for example. How far has the project gone? What is the budget for that project? What is remaining, things like that. So we say it facilitates presentation of real-time data on key performance indicators of selected schemes and projects to the senior functionaries of the state government, as well as district uh, administration. So we are able to carry people along with these kind of platforms, and this is why we need digital technology in the area of open government, right? So if we have an open government that allows the expression of digital technology, we see that we are able to transmit data from the government to the people, to the society a lot easier. So this just wraps up the whole idea of an open government system and how we can take advantage of digital technology through human capitalization. We've seen how we can train people and take them through the phases, how we can push them into the industry, how we can fund them, and how we can then let these people express their contributions into the open government society. And then we see, we monitor the growth, we monitor the changes that we see. So this is just my short idea of this concept. And would like to hear from you as the event goes on. Would like to hear your contributions on what you think or how you think we can actually take this idea on a much broader scale to persuade the government to come into this and see how we work together. So thank you so much for listening. Appreciate it.